All right, guys, this recording is for the 1.10 Argue for a Cause letter that's due on Friday, January 22nd, 2021, and I am Mrs. Cager. So I want you to take a few minutes first. If you haven't started this assignment yet, the first thing I want you to do is get in the right headspace and think about what it is that you're going to write about. So I want you to think of a cause that you feel strongly about. Think about what is it that you have a really strong passion about or you feel really strongly about. I want you to think about that. And then I want you to think and maybe even jot down what kind of emotions come up as you think about this topic. And if you were to write about this topic, how could you get your reader equally charged, passionate, emotional, or informed about your topic? What could you do to share your kind of passion and your emotional feelings with your reader that maybe doesn't share that same feeling that you do? How could you get them to that point? So for this assignment, there are quite a few objectives, and I normally don't read these out one by one, but I'm going to read them because I want you to think about why you're writing this letter. So you want to develop valid reasoning to support your argument. You want to write an introduction with a precise claim for your argument. You need to distinguish your claims from alternate or opposing claims with your argument. Organize your claims to establish clear relationship amongst those claims, counterclaims, reasons, and your evidence. You want to develop your claims and your counterclaims fairly. Support each claim or counterclaim in your argument with relevant and sufficient evidence. You want to explain the strengths or limitations of each claim or counterclaim in your argument in order to address the audience's knowledge and concerns. And use words, phrases, or clauses to link major sections of the text and to develop cohesion within your argument. You want to establish and maintain a formal style and an objective tone when writing your argument. Apply knowledge of norms and conventions when writing, so that means just typical things, typical rules when you're writing. You need to have a concluding statement or a conclusion section that follows and supports the argument you present. Produce clear, coherent writing in which the development, organization, or style is appropriate to your task, your purpose, and your audience. And this is going to be especially important with this assignment because you're writing a letter. So depending on what your topic is or what your claim is, that's going to determine your audience. So keep in mind, depending on what it is you're writing about, keep in mind who your audience is because that's going to tell you how you should be writing. Plan your writing for your specific purpose and audience. And then finally, you'll use technology to produce, publish, and update individual or shared writing products. So before you start working on claims and trying to be a persuasive writer, some things we need to remember. This is some vocabulary from way back in the first semester. We went over these things, but this is just a reminder, okay? You want to have a call to action in your letter. And this is a specific action that you suggest because you're the author, a specific action that you suggest that supports the position that you present in your argument. So you're trying to call your reader to do something, whether it's a physical task or whether you're just trying to convince your reader to agree with you and support you. And then we have these three types of appeals, and we spent quite a bit of time on these in the first semester. We talked about ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is a type of appeal in an argument where the author attempts to appear credible or trustworthy to an audience. This is often using like celebrities or expert testimony. Pathos is that emotional argument where you try to persuade your audience based on their emotions, where you try to make your your reader feel a certain way and draw out that emotion. Logos is an attempt to persuade an audience based on their sense of reason and logic. So this is where you present facts or data, statistics, things that can be presented as fact that are just logical, they just make sense, and that supports your argument. Okay? An appeal is a specific type of language designed to encourage an audience to agree with or act based on an argument. And finally, rhetoric is an author's use of deliberate language choices to try to influence the way an audience thinks or acts. So we're going to look at this model essay first, okay? So this is an example of an argumentative essay or a persuasive essay, and it's titled, "Everyone Should Be Able to Attend the Upcoming Protest." So I'm going to read through this and I'll point out some things as we go through. So first it says, a petition has been turned in at City Hall to have Thursday's midnight vigil changed to be a Saturday afternoon rally. This protest is an opportunity for the community to support the environment and to express their concerns about a proposed mining operation in the pristine Mount Emmons Wilderness area. However, parents and community leaders have expressed concerns over the participation of the community's young people in this protest at such a late hour on a weeknight, and have gone so far as to deny people under the age of 18 the right to participate. I believe that the timing of this event should be changed so that young people not only have the right to be a part of this important event, but can be encouraged to participate, because this protest provides an incredible opportunity to learn about important issues and become more involved in the community. So this first paragraph is the introduction. Okay, it's got a hook, it provides the context, tells us what we're talking about, and the thesis. It tells us exactly what the author is arguing for. The author believes the time should be changed so that young people have the right to participate and be encouraged to participate. So the rest of this argument has to support that thesis. So let's look at her first body paragraph. It says the first reason that young people should be allowed to participate in the protest is that this event will give them first-hand experience with political activism. Peaceful protests are an important part of political discourse in the United States and have long been a vehicle through which individuals raise their voices and demand change. From women's suffrage to the civil rights movement, peaceful protests and marches are an important part of American democracy. Many young people learn about these movements and protests, but it's also important for them to experience these things by fighting for causes that they believe in. We are constantly looking for ways to make education come alive. What better way to learn about the importance of activism than to encourage young people to actively participate? Here we have her first claim, and it is that it will give young people firsthand experience with political activism. She gives her claim, her reason, and her evidence to support that claim. This is the next body paragraph. Says the second reason that young people should be allowed to participate in the protest is that the community as a whole will be present. Parents, government leaders, and business owners overwhelmingly support protecting the environment and rejecting the mining proposal that would endanger nearly 10,000 acres of wilderness. Community leaders understand that the mine could negatively impact the water supply as well as the booming tourism industry that keeps our town viable. A mine would also damage the culture of our community and destroy 100 square miles of beautiful recreational trails and campsites. Replacing these peaceful and natural landscapes with machinery, foul odors, oil, and the constant clang of metal on metal, young people as members of this community who will be directly affected by these changes should be able to join with their parents, friends, and community leaders and stand alongside them. If this issue is important enough for our parents to be present, shouldn't it be important for us to be there too? In this second body paragraph, She gives us her second reason, and then she uses rhetorical devices and appeals to the logic, the credibility, and the emotion. Okay? She uses all three of these appeals in this second body paragraph. Then in the third body paragraph, we get an opposing viewpoint. This is where she comes in and she says, okay, let's look at the other side and let's talk about that too. She says, despite these reasons, some parents and leaders still believe that a protest is no place for young people. They argue that this is an issue for adults. They assert that since people under the age of 18 currently cannot vote on the issue, it is not important that they be present. So she does shed light on the opposition. You don't want to completely ignore the opposing viewpoint, okay? You want to acknowledge it, say, here it is, and then continue to argue your point. Here's her response to that opposition. While it is true that people under 18 cannot vote, they are still members of this community. What's more, the proposed mine and protest directly affect the lives of everyone in the community, including young people. The mine would also have a dramatic impact on the future of this town and those young people who will be living their lives there. Thus, it is imperative that young people take an active role in the protest and in the democratic process by which their futures will be decided. Attending the protest will provide young people with numerous opportunities to learn about the democratic process, to develop their voices, and to fight for a cause that they believe in. So that is her response to the opposing viewpoint, to the opposition. And then finally, here's her conclusion and her call to action. She says, have you ever believed in a cause? Have you ever stood up for what was right? The young people of our community want their opportunity. Today, I call upon all who care about the environment and the importance of the democratic process to stand up for their beliefs and to sign the petition to reschedule this protest rally for Saturday afternoon. Furthermore, I call upon parents, business owners, and community leaders to support all members of their community as we work together for a better future. So here she's asking us to do something very specific. She has a plan. She says, this is what I want you to do. I want you to sign the petition. If you're a parent or a business owner, I want you to work together. Let's change this. Let's do a better job. That's her call to action or the conclusion. So what you're doing in 1.10 is very similar to this. Now this example is not written exactly like a letter, and that's what the assignment is asking you to do. So you're writing a similar thing. It's still an argument, but you're going to do it in letter form. So this is the assignment for 1.10, argue for a cause. It says write a well-organized argument letter of 3 or 4 paragraphs on an issue that is meaningful to you. So this leaves it wide open for you to choose your topic, choose something that you're passionate about. Think of your community, your church, your school, anything that you might participate in. Is there something within that that you don't agree with or that you think could be done better? How would you address that? How could you write a letter to the head of an organization or a principal at a school and argue for change? So kind of get yourself in that headspace. That's what this is asking you to do. So it's not super long, looking for 3 to 4 paragraphs, okay? And you should have some sort of introductory paragraph with your claim, probably 2 body paragraphs, and then a conclusion with your call to action at the end. When you've finished that, you're going to go through it, make sure you've done your revising and editing, make sure it looks like a letter, and then you're going to submit it to the 1.10 Argue for a Cause Dropbox. If you need more help on this or you have other questions, you can send me an email, you can call, you can text if you need some additional help with this. So I hope this helps you guys. Good luck.